welcome to Just Music Podcast. We're back with another episode. It's been a minute, but we're back with some new content, with some new energy, some new vibes. I'm your host, Jailan.
And I'm your other host, Marco.
All right, man. So, well, first off, how you doing, man? It's been a while since, we've gotten together.
Yeah, it has been. Well, I actually just got a DJ gig at Silver Dollar.
Yeah, which we told you guys about. Week. How was that?
It was awesome. A lot of fun. Yeah. And I'll be DJing again November 11th at Silver Dollar.
Yeah.
And then every Wednesday after that. So.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to be promoting that more. So, yeah, definitely going to support.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely going to support our guy Marco at Silver Dollar on his nights when he DJs. Yeah, man, midterms have just been pretty crazy, so that's really why we've been gone for so long. But thank you guys so much for continuing to support our page, our organization, our business. Following us on Instagram, watching our videos on YouTube, and streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and other platforms. Keep doing that. We're still trying to reach our goal of 100 followers on Instagram. We're almost there. We're at like 84, 85. So we're almost there. But keep sharing the page. Keep liking posts. Keep engaging with our Instagram story. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So today, it's going to be more of us, recommending music to you guys. We thought we'd start with rock music. That was something that Marco wanted to do, right?
Switch it up.
Yeah, switch it up. Introduce a a different sound to our audience.
Right. And the reason why I figured we'd talk about rock music is because a couple of weeks ago, Eddie Van Halen, one of the co-founders of the rock band Van Halen, passed away. He was 65, which... for a rock artist, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, most rock artists, they die when they're in their early 20s and 30s.
Really? I didn't know that, bro.
Oh, yeah. Actually, my parents told me that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, and they were saying that, they were looking at all these different bands, and they got to read the biography, and it seemed like the same story, successful band, then they get into a lot of drugs and addiction, and then one of the band members dies, and then the band just kind of breaks up for a bit, and then when they're all old, they do a reunion tour.
Yeah,
it's like the same cycle, same story, which is kind of
funny. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that was pretty much, But with Van Halen, this guy was in his 60s, which is pretty good for a rock musician, and all the stuff he's done. So.
Yeah, just to touch on Eddie Van Halen, I mean, he was a legend, man. I personally didn't listen to a lot of his music, but I knew that he was a great guitarist. Just hearing him play on certain tracks, for example, "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. That guitar solo,
right,
is crazy. Matter of fact, they said that during that studio session, the speakers actually came on fire during his guitar solo. So
his music was fire, literally.
Yeah, literally. And his finger tapping style was very unique. And because finger tapping, you'll see a lot of guitarists today do it, and bassists too. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily an easy technique to master, but he was definitely known for that. And just his solos, his riffs and just his idea of improvisation was it was unmatched. So he was definitely a legend. Absolutely. And to work with his group, Van Halen, they had a lot of hits too. They really made their place in rock music and just music in general. So yeah, Eddie Van Halen, definitely a legend. So rest in peace to him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And I mean, I would, in my opinion, he's definitely probably number one guitarist of all time.
You think so?
I think so. And my other two, who I put at number two? I'd probably put Jimi Hendrix at number 2, and then number 3, I'd put Eric Clapton.
Those are all good choices. I mean, Jimi Hendrix
is
really
another
good guitarist because he didn't know music theory, bro. He learned all his music by ear.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading this Miles Davis book autobiography. He was like, like he really liked Jimi Hendrix because Jimi Hendrix was like really popular during like the 70s type,
late
and like
60s.
Right, it was like the hippie scene, and like rock was really starting to enter that golden era with like AC/DC and like stadium concerts, and it was a crazy time. And Miles Davis said that every time he tried to teach Jimi Hendrix like theory, like chords or harmony or things, he'd be like, "What?" But the fact that he could play guitar like that and like not know like the technicalities of music,
right?
It's like, bro, like he was just a master at guitar, and it's a shame that his career didn't last that long.
Yeah, he's part of the 27 Club.
Yeah, and Eric Clapton, I mean, a legend.
Yeah.
Just to name some other legendary guitarists, Jimmy Page with Led Zeppelin. I mean, like Stairway to Heaven, Dazed and Confused, just a bunch of those Led Zeppelin tracks. That's like out of the rock bands that I like, especially like classic rock. They're up there. They're definitely top 2 for me.
Yeah.
And Prince was also a great guitarist, man. Just listening to songs like "Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad," "Bambi," "Let's Go Crazy," like that guitar solo at the end of that song.
Right.
"Purple Rain." Like,
classic.
Like, he was a really, really, really great guitarist. And he was just a master artist, master musician, to be honest. And and to talk about other guitarists, B.B. King, even though he was really played around with the blues scale, like he didn't play with much notes, but like it sounded good. It was good music. And Chuck Berry and
right,
a bunch of other people we can name that made the guitar very popular. And Eddie Van Halen is definitely in that conversation.
Absolutely. Most definitely. So I was just gonna ask you, since you're talking about Led Zeppelin, who are your top 3 favorite classic rock bands, in your opinion?
See, I can't put it in a specific order because sometimes I think it's Led Zeppelin. That's my ultimate favorite. Sometimes I think it's Queen.
Oh, because, Queen, definitely.
Queen musicians, they could also sing. Like, not saying Led Zeppelin couldn't. Like, I mean, it was really Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin singing most of the time. But in Queen, you had Freddie Mercury, who was a killer showman. Like, looking at go back and watch Queen's performances, and this man he had stage presence. He could command the stage.
Oh yeah, if you watch the videos of him at the Live Aid concert, it was just insane.
Right.
But yeah, I would say Queen is pretty good. They made a lot of great stadium anthem songs.
Yeah, like
We Will Rock You.
Yeah, We Will Rock You. We Are the Champions.
Like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, of course.
And that's really, I feel like what's made them stand out from other rock bands, just that huge connection between their audience, and it's insane. I mean, you go to any sporting event, you hear Queen, the whole crowd is going to go crazy for that.
Yeah, like it's crazy, and like they were in like a perfect time for rock music, because like that was what,
I think
70s.
It's like late 70s to
early 80s.
To mid 80s.
Yeah, because like when you think about like the timeline of rock music, started in the 50s with the blues rock and soul. People like Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Muddy Waters. If you don't, he was a good guitarist as well. Yeah. And then the 60s came. Had Elvis, the Beatles, Rolling Stones. And then the 70s came. That was like the golden age for rock. Like you said, stadium jams, like these huge concerts at these big stadiums. Kiss
too. Oh yeah,
Kiss was a big thing. Queen, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin was 60s and 70s, but you get the point.
Right.
AC/DC.
90s.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah, and like Nirvana in the 90s.
Nirvana in the 90s. And rock music definitely served its purpose in music. Definitely some longevity in that genre, that style of music.
Right. And people are still listening to those old classics to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Like, to go back to like my favorite rock bands, Led Zeppelin, Queen. I can't think of a third one. I'm gonna go with Red Hot Chili Peppers for now.
Okay.
But I can't think of a third one.
Okay.
But like, I really started listening to all of them like in high school, like senior year, going into college, because I was like, I really want to like get into this sound of music. Like, I personally don't hear rock music like that today. I mean, like, yeah, there's Greta Van Fleet, which are basically copiers of Led Zeppelin. It's like, damn, like, do y'all even have a sound?
Right.
But they're talented musicians.
Oh,
very talented.
Of course.
I just and it couldn't and maybe it's not them. It could be the label. Just being like, hey, we want you guys to really push that Led Zeppelin
right
because
sound
that's what y'all sound like. Yeah,
exactly.
Queen, Led Zeppelin, and probably Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's like Queen, they were just so they are really icons in like not just rock music but pop music. Like with songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, like you said, and Someone to Love, Killer Queen,
Under Pressure with David Bowie.
Yeah,
it's another one.
And Don't Stop Me Now. There's so many hits that still live on today. And
most definitely.
Yeah, and like with Led Zeppelin, they're like the grandfathers of that hard rock, like that heavy metal, and like so yeah, I would go with those three.
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Queen, and Led Zeppelin. What about you? Because I talked a pretty good minute, so.
No, yeah. For me, that's tough too, because I feel like I'll be listening to certain songs from a certain band for a bit, and then I'll think, okay, this is definitely number one. But then I hear one song from another band, and then I start shifting to their taste, and I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe it's this band I really like. So I always kind of bounce around, but this is in no particular order. But for me, it'd be probably Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, and Van Halen. Because I mean, once Eddie Van Halen died, I was listening to some Van Halen, but I didn't really get into it. Because when an artist dies, and then you start to listen to their music more, and their numbers just go up.
Yeah,
that's kind of what that effect took on me with Van Halen. And I mean, they have some dope hits. I mean, Panama, which is a great song. Run with the Devil, Dance the Night Away, Little Dreamer, and then of course the OG classic Jump, which everyone knows.
Right.
But I
was gonna mention that.
Yeah. Well. Oh, actually, I was just gonna take a quick side note about that story. Do you know that song's about suicide?
Really? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because if you listen to the lyrics, here, let me pull it up. But yeah, it's about suicide because he's like, "Why don't you go ahead and jump?" And it sounds such a happy little song.
Oh, like jump off the bridge or jump off the bridge or something.
Yeah, I get up and nothing gets me down. You got tough. I've seen the toughest around. Those are just some of the lyrics.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
This song by Queen is called "Don't Try." Suicide, and like they were making so much light of suicide. Like they were like, don't try it, like don't do suicide, this and that. But like it's the fact that like they made such like a jolly feel song out of that. And the story behind that one is I think it was like one of the band members' cousin or family members or friends. One of them, they tried to commit suicide, or either they did commit suicide and they made that song. So like,
really,
that's pretty crazy.
And it sounds like such a happy song. You just hear jump, dun 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 dun. It's just those happy synths. But no, but yeah, I would say Van Halen. I really like their music, and like you were saying, Led Zeppelin. I mean, heck, I got Led Zeppelin 1 on the wall right there. Some favorite songs that I like from Led Zeppelin: "Stairway to Heaven," of course. "Good Times, Bad Times," "Dazed and Confused." I like "Ramble On." That might be my favorite Led Zeppelin song. "Ramble On."
Ramble On. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And "Black Dog" too. But I agree. Led Zeppelin is pretty cool. And I actually read this article the other day, and so their icon, their logo, how it's that angel or whatever, like sprawled out. Well,
like those different symbols.
Right. Well, apparently the story behind that is there's this Greek mythology story about this guy named Icarus, and I guess like him and his dad were on this island in Greece trying to escape, and so what they did was they created these wings with feathers and glue or whatever, or it was wax, and they started flying up, and Icarus's dad was just like, "Oh, don't fly too close to the sun." And sure enough, he did, and his wings melted away, and he fell into the sea. So if you look at that picture of the Led Zeppelin cover, it's just the Icarus Angel like falling,
Yeah,
sprawled out and everything. Like
I know
that.
what you mean, like the falling angel type.
Right.
Yeah, because they had multiple symbols. Like they were big on like Greek mythology and like folklore and things like that. A lot of people back then thought it was satanic, but it
Right.
wasn't.
No, that's
just,
where the origins.
yeah,
are from.
like they were. I think Robert Plant, the lead singer, he was like really into like Lord of the Rings, and all these other things. So that's like where their imagery and like their aesthetic came from.
Right.
And so yeah, I didn't know that story. But I always knew like the fallen angel logo. I just didn't know what it meant. You know,
Right.
some people, because I kind of thought, oh, well, like maybe like Lucifer, you know, like falling.
Right.
from heaven.
People interpret it differently. You know.
Yeah, and then so yeah, wow, that's a crazy story.
And then Rolling Stones, I love their music.
Yeah.
I have a lot of songs in my rock playlist by them.
British Invasion. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so crazy because if you listen to some early Rolling Stones, it sounds very bluesy. Mm-hmm. You know the song Brown Sugar by Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Like, it's got a very bluesy type riff and everything.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite songs by them. I like that song. I like, Paint It Black.
Yeah.
Sympathy for the Devil. Doom and Gloom. That's a funny song. The lyrics, he's talking about crashing a plane in Louisiana. It's just so funny to me. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the thing about like you were saying like the bluesy rock. You know, it's crazy because like Rolling Stones came like what, the 60s, early 60s?
Early 60s, yeah.
And they just moved out of the like that blues rock stage because people like B.B. King and Chuck Berry, that's what they were making. Like you had a whole bunch of blues artists and
right.
stuff. And then when the British Invasion came, the mainstream industry thought like, oh, this is a new sound, and it's like, nah, like this is a sound that
was made in America, but didn't gain popularity
until the British Invasion came, and like those black artists, those black musicians, those black guitarists, they created that sound. But unfortunately, the mainstream industry wasn't giving those guys their credit, but then when the British Invasion and also people like Elvis too, he's not part of the British Invasion, but they got that credit too, and so yeah, it was pretty funny that you mentioned that because all of that came from like that decade before.
Right.
Yeah, Rolling Stones still.
Do y'all know how they got their name? It was.
I don't.
It was from some song, Manish Boy, and there's a lyric where he says something just like a Rolling Stone by Muddy Waters. Let me look the lyrics up. But that basically inspired the right here. So the song goes, I'm a natural born lover's man, I'm a man, I'm a Rolling Stone, I'm a man. And that's what I guess inspired the Rolling Stones to get their name from that song.
And I think Rolling Stones even said it themselves. Like they gave credit to those like Waters, Led Zeppelin, all those guys, because those were their idols, man. So it's crazy how like rock, really grew and transitioned into like from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to like this worldwide popularized genre. So yeah. So for you, it's Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, and Van Halen. That's your favorite.
Yeah, those are my favorite groups.
Yeah.
Although I do love some Beatles. I mean,
I can't get into the Beatles, man. I just can't.
Really?
Like, I can't. Like, okay, like
That's a hot take right there.
I like some songs. Like I like "Come Together."
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that one.
Abbey Road.
Right,
Yeah,
that's the one everybody likes. And the bass line on that one is really good. And I like "While My Guitar Gently Weeps." That's a good one. And "Try to See It My Way." I can't remember the name of that.
Have you ever listened to the Rubber Soul album?
Mm-mm.
You should listen to that because that's one of their best albums. That was when they were starting
Is that
out.
the one you have up here?
No, that's Abbey Road.
Oh.
But that was like one of their more earlier stuff. That's a pretty decent album. And one song you need to listen to is called Taxman. You heard that song?
Mm-mm.
It's by the Beatles, and it's funny because we listened to the song in my audio production class, and my professor said, "All right, everyone, put your earphones on." And it was a lesson on panning, which for those of you that don't know, panning is basically where you take certain tracks in a song and you have the sound either go to the left or to the right for your ears to listen to.
Right.
So that way it kind of just makes the sound much better and not so linear or whatever. But anyways, so we were listening to the song with the speakers on, and the beginning of the song, the guitar, the bass, and the voices were all in the left ear. And then they had a little percussion element, like a little shaker, and that was in the right ear. And as the song progresses, it slowly shifts towards normal balance, normal equilibrium by the end of the song. But after I heard that song, I had a headache, man. Like, it was crazy. I've never heard any song like that.
And which era was this for the Beatles? Like, was this like when they started out, or like later in their career?
I'm gonna look it up right now. I think it was kind of like pretty early. Yeah, the song was off the Revolver album. Came out in 1966. So yeah, it was pretty early on in their career.
Because I was gonna say, like, if the production was pretty crazy, I hope that wasn't like, was that during the era where like they started like dabbling in drugs?
No,
like
this is
LSD?
before. This is before the Sergeant Lonely Hearts, Sergeant Pepper's band or whatever.
Okay, because I was gonna bring up this one song I've heard by the Beatles called "I Am the Walrus."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yep, everyone knows that one.
That's like one of the most terrible songs I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining because it's so bad.
Yeah. I also heard a story about the reasoning that they wrote that song. Supposedly, I guess Paul McCartney, they made the song as a troll, basically.
Yeah.
Because I guess someone told Paul McCartney that some university in England was listening to their songs and just analyzing them for an English or a poetry class. So Paul McCartney was like, all right, let's just make a song that makes no sense and see if they can find meaning in it. And then boom, they made "I'm the Walrus." And it's like the major troll. Just I think that's hilarious.
That's crazy, man. But the Beatles are definitely like legends. Even though I can't really get into their music like that, I'm gonna try. Matter of fact, we gotta make a starter pack for you guys of those of you who don't listen to rock music but want to get into it. We'll make a starter pack. Well,
a lot of good hits from those eras, and I mean, it's just crazy because listening to music from those eras to now is just, there's no comparison.
It's different. Yeah, it's really different.
It's so different.
Because like to think about music like now, like to. Because like after the 80s, going to the 90s, you got more of like the grunge rock. You got more of
Nirvana was the forefront of that.
You got people like the Strokes.
Oh yeah.
The Smiths.
U2,
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
U2 came out what, late 80s?
U2, I can't.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, look that up. But they were definitely somewhere in there.
Oh no, I was way off. They were formed in 1976, but I feel like
they've just been around for a long time.
They've just been, but I feel like they had a lot of good songs from the 90s. I just forget them off the top of my head, but
and then like, U2 was around, and like going to the 2000s, You had like Red Hot Chili Peppers were around like in the 90s too.
Mm-hmm.
Californication. The
Oh, yeah.
Dream of California.
Yeah,
It's
that's a good song.
In 2000s,
Green Day.
Green Day.
Wake
I remember
Me Up When September Ends.
yeah,
Great song.
Yeah, on another group, Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah. Fall Out Boy.
That one song, Dance Dance by them. Really cool, really fast paced. It makes you want to dance for real.
Right.
I was actually introduced to that song through Madden. Back when
Really?
Madden was like really good and like the soundtrack, everything was like really good.
Right.
So yeah, and then like fast forward to 2010s, like there was Imagine Dragons for a short period of time.
Oh my god. Before you go on, I have a funny story about Imagine Dragons. One of my good buddies, he hates Imagine Dragons. And when I asked him why he hates them, he's like, I hate them because, you know, they were good in the beginning, but now they just make songs for the radio. They're just making songs for commercials. That's what he said. He's like, they're making songs just for car commercials.
Yeah.
Like the song Radioactive, or that song was like
I thought that was a
Thunder.
good song though.
Hear the thunder.
Radioactive.
That song, oh my gosh, it was so overplayed back in 2013. I remember listening to that.
It was a good song though.
It is a good song, but like, you know when a song gets overplayed and then you can't stand it? I remember playing NBA 2K13 and that song would come on every single time I was in the lobby.
Yeah.
But Imagine Dragons, they kind of fell off.
Yeah, I don't really listen to them like that.
No,
anymore.
I don't either.
And some other rock bands like recently. See, that's the thing. Like, I really dabble more in like classic rock. I don't
Exactly
really dabble
same.
in like, the rock.
Exactly, because I feel like rock today isn't what it was like.
No, it's definitely not. You know, the eras are different. You know, the sounds are different. It's just crazy how it just like transforms into something different. You know.
Oh, I was gonna say another band that I feel like has stood the test of time. Has to be Grateful Dead.
Okay. Yeah.
They've been around since the 60s, and the fact that they still do concerts to this day, and the crazy thing is that they have the wildest group of fans. Deadheads, you know. I've heard stories of people would just rent out these Volkswagen minivans, like the classic hippie van or whatever, and they just go from one city to another and follow them all on their tours. And I was just like, damn, I am not that dedicated to an artist. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be like that, man. Like, you be thinking you really like an artist, and then somebody like burst your bubble.
Yeah, man.
But another band that has kind of like stood the test of time, definitely still say Queen. Like, they're still, even though Freddie Mercury is not the lead singer, Adam Lambert is. But
yeah, and they had that movie just made recently.
Yeah. And like their music has stood the test of time. And like, just to talk about more rock bands than just, we already mentioned Led Zeppelin. I think Pink Floyd.
Definitely.
Album,
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon, and other albums by them. But I've listened to that Dark Side of the Moon record, and it's really good.
Right.
Like, that's an album that stood the test of time. Yeah, like there's just so many great rock groups that you can get into. It's really crazy. So I guess, like, what are your favorite rock songs? Like, give me 5.
Oh, that's tough. I have to go through my playlist real quick, because we're going to drop this playlist for y'all, and it's about 7 hours long of rock music. So if you're interested, go ahead and listen through all of it. And
I meant to mention, some rock songs or like rock artists that you don't really think of like as rock. Tame Impala, like, his sound is low key on the rock side, but it's alternative. Like, it's definitely more synths and
more. I would classify that as psychedelic.
Yeah,
rock.
psychedelic.
That whole sound, but
and Chan. If you don't, they're like a math rock type. I really like Chan. Can definitely skateboard to it.
Yeah, man. But that's tough, man. I have so many good. There's so many good songs I like from Rock artist. I mean, I have to say definitely Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. I would say Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones. I would also say Dance the Night Away by Van Halen. That's a good one.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Trying to see who else. Oh, I also love All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah.
And one more song that I like. Baba O'Reilly by The Who. You ever heard that song?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That song is so funny because it takes about 1 minute and 20 seconds for the song to start. And I was at Burns Alley once and I did karaoke to that song. And I was just standing on the stage and everyone was just looking at me and I'm just like, wait, just wait, it's gonna come soon. But those are some of my favorite songs. What about you?
Okay, to get 5.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
This isn't going to be in any specific order.
Okay.
But
okay.
Definitely Hotel California by the Eagles. I'm sorry, that's just a really good song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Good choice.
Another one would have to be I'm like looking at it right now. Hotel California.
Yeah.
By the Eagles. Mississippi Queen.
Okay.
By Mountain. Because that was like one of the very first rock songs I heard, and I heard that off of Regular Show, and I played it on Guitar Hero. And,
okay.
Monsters by Matchbook Romance.
Okay.
That's another one.
Yeah. That's funny. You heard Mississippi Queen through Regular Show?
Yes. I'm trying to think of that Led Zeppelin song. It's like dun 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 dun. Oh baby. Dun 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 dun.
I forget what it's called.
You've heard it before.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my favorite rock songs, and definitely like one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs. It's called "Fool in the Rain." Yeah,
oh, okay.
That's the name of it.
Yeah.
I love that song.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So that's 4.
One more.
And a 5th one.
Hooked on a Feeling.
It's between Stairway to Heaven or Bohemian Rhapsody. It's between those two.
Oh.
I'll probably pick Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Honorable mentions would be
Stairway to Heaven is definitely number
Bohemian Rhapsody. Can't Stop.
Oh,
by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
And another last honorable mention would be Roxanne by the Police.
Oh, Roxanne by the Police.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have a really fun drinking game to that song. I need to tell you. So it's really simple. It's every time he says Roxanne, you take a sip, and then when he says foot on the red light, you spin.
I'm dead.
Yeah. So that's something for you guys to play.
At the end of that game.
Yeah, it's fun. But so that's a good song too.
So those are my 5. Stairway to Heaven, Mississippi Queen, Monsters by Matchbook Romance, Fool in the Rain. I know I said
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, I said that one. I said Bohemian Rhapsody, Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers. And just like that, I can't remember the last one. Yeah. But yeah, those are mine. My 5 and then my honorable mentions. Wow, we talked about a lot of rock music.
I know, we did. We went through so many different decades.
Right, because I can't even figure out what else to add.
I was just going to say, one more thing to talk about. Woodstock. If you had the chance to go back in time to see Woodstock and see all these artists perform live, would you do it?
Of course.
Right?
Especially to see Jimi Hendrix. Because didn't he do like the national anthem?
Yeah, he did on the electric guitar, which was pretty sweet. Probably the most American thing I could ever see. Like, right. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't stay over there with all the hippies and the mud, but I would just go to see the shows, because Grateful Dead performed, Jimi Hendrix performed, Janis Joplin,
Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
Them.
A lot of other artists
too.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
funk and rock, and Santana,
Oh yeah.
legendary guitar player.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. How did I forget that?
Yeah, so many,
Yeah,
man.
so
There's
many good artists. So many good artists.
And you know who like also did rock music? Michael Jackson. Like the Bad album, that's low key a rock album. Like Dirty Diana.
Yeah.
Songs like Dirty Diana, Black or White.
Beat It.
Well, Beat It was off of Thriller, but
Oh, was it off Thriller? Oh yeah.
because like Dirty Diana, that's an honorable mention for me too in terms of a rock song that I really like.
Okay.
Yeah, man, just rock music. Is a genre that you just have to get into. You just have to get into. Like if you guys are interested in, like where to start, I would definitely start with listen to like B.B. King, listen to like Chuck Berry, definitely listen to like Led Zeppelin. Like if you guys want the blues and the heavy metal, the hard rock, listen to Led Zeppelin. If you just want the blues and like the soul rock, listen to like B.B. King, Chuck Berry. Like if you want to listen to that music that your grandparents used to listen to, listen to B.B. King and Chuck Berry. And then if you like want to listen to the heavy metal and the blues, but also
the classics,
the classic rock, Led Zeppelin. If you want to get into something more like poppy and stadium jams, Queen for sure. And yeah.
Rolling Stones too.
Yeah, Rolling Stones too.
Yeah, a lot of good Rolling Stones songs. Trying to think. Definitely listen to that song "Taxman" by the Beatles. Do it with your headphones on, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about.
With the panning, yeah.
And you're gonna get a headache after the end of. But do it still.
Yeah, but we're gonna make a starter pack for you guys. Definitely gonna be some Led Zeppelin in there, some Queen, some Rolling Stones. And,
just a mix of everything we've been talking about,
and a couple others. But yeah, this was a great episode. I really like this. Just us chilling. Talking about rock music, introducing our audience to some new sounds, some different sounds that they may not have heard before. If you guys got any rock songs that you like, or rock artists that you like, or rock groups that you like, or anybody that we've missed, who you think we should have talked about, let us know.
Please do.
You can DM us. We don't mind having conversations with y'all. But until next time, man, this was another episode of Just Music Podcast. Stay wavy, guys, and as always, stay tuned.
Yep. See ya. Peace.